What's up, you guys? Godzilla fan freaks coming at you today with another figure review. And yes, as you can see, we have another Bandai Namco Tamashii Nations figure here. And this is the SH Monsterarts Red Eyes Black Dragon from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime cartoon, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Another IP that I grew up with. I do have very good memories of coming home from school, watching Yu-Gi-Oh!, watching it on Saturday mornings. I really did enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! The really early Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. The first seasons and all that stuff. Duelist Kingdom, Battle City, all that stuff I grew up with watching regularly. And, I really like the monster designs for the dual monster cards and everything like that. And Red Eyes Black Dragon here was no exception to that. I mean, granted, he's one of the weaker dragons of the show. His design does not make him look that way. Red Eyes Black Dragon is just absolutely an amazing design. And I will say here, just to start off, even though I've been griping on Bandai Tamashii Nations, they did an exceptionally well job on this figure. But again, I have to gripe on them still because where's the consistency? And we're going to get into all of that, pricing wise and just everything. You know how I like to do that with this company because they don't make sense. And I want to drive that nail out there just to, again, make my voice be heard as a customer, as a fan, a consumer of these things. That if you want to do these things, where's the consistency that's here but not on here and stuff like that. So we'll get into all that critiqueness later on, but just taking a look at the box, got a very nice, awesome shot of the figure. Looks beautiful. Got the SH Monsterarts logo, probably Yu-Gi-Oh, down here. Just really, really awesome box. I mean, this box is huge, you guys. Look at the back of it here. You got a nice window where you kind of saw, the figure and whatnot. And then, of course, you have all of these promotional shot materials, making the figure just look outstanding in different poses and, stuff that he comes with. Look at that. Awesome stuff. So a really, really cool, great box all the way around. It's really hard to showcase the whole thing. But again, this box is huge. Very nice box. I will say overall, like out of SH Monsterarts boxes, this is actually miles above what any of the Godzilla, kaiju releases have been. Like, this box is absolutely amazing. So I will just say that the box is really good. Now, onto the figure itself. Zoom in here, get more of a centered shot. And let's take a look here at Red Eyes Black Dragon. Let me lower this down a little bit. Readjust my tripod. There we go. All right, you guys. SH Monsterarts Red Eyes Black Dragon. You guys, this thing, man, my camera doesn't want to focus it. Why not? Why isn't it focusing? Oh, well, maybe it'll readjust itself here. But I think it's just maybe the wings that is throwing my camera's focus off. But, oh, man, this figure, though, is absolutely... Come on, refocus. Why is it... There we go. There we go. This figure is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Man, it still doesn't want to focus. There we go. Absolutely beautiful figure. Lovely, lovely paint. Let's just dive right on into this with paint job. Absolutely lovely. Lovely black. Lovely matte black. It's not shiny or anything like that. And in the light, it is hard to see, but on other people's reviews, because this figure has been reviewed on others before, almost on all the tips of his spikes, his claws, everything like that, you can really see it well on this hand. He's got frosted tips on almost every point on his body. He has frosted tips. There's just a little bit of silver worked in there. And when the light really does hit this figure just right, in the black, there is a very nice reddish, purplish, hue and highlights in the black. It's not going to show up very well here in this lighting and on camera, but that the attention to that type of color and the paint, again, that's the consistency I'm talking about. And there's no bit of slop on this guy, no bit of paint rub, nothing scratched. Absolutely beautiful. The eyes, you guys, are a very nice metallic pearl red. And they look absolutely beautiful. Definitely lives up to the name, Red Eyes Black Dragon. Inside of the mouth, kind of a pinkish purplish color for the tongue and like the gums and stuff. And then the teeth are kind of just a slighter, lighter, grayish black mixture, just to kind of separate from the face itself. But man, talk about attention to just paint and detail in the color. Absolutely beautiful. And again, this is from the SH Monsterarts department. Consistency. Where's that paint on where's that attention on everything else? Detail wise, maybe that's a factor. I am going to point that out, because detail wise, you have to remember, this is an animated character. It's not taking after like a 3D CGI model or a suit, so you don't have all that scaly, bumpy detail and everything like that. But still, it's like, again, even though for an animated character, all those details and fine lines in the design itself, like running along all those segments of the neck, all of that is just there. Teeth beautifully individually, sculpted and shaped. Horns, again, you got just all these fine, details and just the linings in everything itself just make this thing look absolutely incredible. Look at the wings, the fine details and lines within those. Again, beautiful, beautiful, making this animated type character come to life through SH Monsterarts. Again, just all that detail. Very spiked, sharp edges. This guy is very sharp no matter how you hold him. Even the tips of his wings are very sharp. But beautifully detailed. From head to toe to tips of tails to tips of the wings. Beautifully detailed figure. Articulation, absolutely amazing. You got all this movement in the neck. I mean, guys, it's just beautiful. Beautiful the way the neck moves. The neck moves so nice. Of course, mouth can open and close. He does have a very good derp face. So, 11 out of 10 for that. But just beautiful articulation in the neck, the head, rotate. However, arms, you can rotate up here at the shoulders. And you can turn these like pieces individually kind of around, to where you can get other movements from other angles. So that's really nice that all of that is segmented. So, you do have good arm movement up and down, forward, backward. Little, there is that bicep swivel in there. Elbows are existent on a hinge, and of course you can get rotations. Hands rotate ever so which way, and of course you can turn as well. Within the body, there is a joint here, and you do get some good side-to-side movements out of it, but as far as a forward-backward, not much. So you're going to use this more for a side-to-side and a little bit of maybe a turn. But you're not going to get much out of this just because of the way all those segments and sculpts work together. The wings. The wings, I guess I've heard on both the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragons have had issues to breakage, and they are, you hear that. It is a more kind of that brittle-ish, hard type plastic, to where if he does take a shelf dive and you got like tile or a hard floor or something, possibly carpet might save it, but even at that, it really depends how it falls. Plastic like this, under pressure, will just crack, snap, and break right off. So you do have to be mindful of that. But I haven't had any issues with my wings. Some people have said that the joints have broke. And again, that's just because you just got to know where to move a certain joint. Don't just test it out and move it from like out here unless you're absolutely certain, because see, then that turns right there. But if this was like, let's say, more of a piece, or maybe you had that wing on the outside there, see how you could possibly strain a joint, and see, you still don't want something like that to happen. But you do have nice flapping motions with the wings to where you can push them forward, backward. You can even rotate and pivot them how you would like. These segments, as you've seen me moving them around, you can kind of move them however you wish, to spread out the wing more or to retract it a little bit more. Just depends on how you like your Red Eyes Black Dragon to look. And then, of course, up here, you have a joint to where you can get pivots and more turns and, get more of, if he's like shielding himself from an attack or something, get him in that total Batman darkness, stay away from me type pose, or I'm going to beat you down. So really good articulation with the wings. I will say that I do like these wings a lot, and I normally don't like wings on SH Monsterarts. I don't like the wings on the original SH Monsterarts King Ghidorah. I don't really like the wings on the Mecha King Ghidorah. I don't like the wings on the Final Form Destroya. I don't know. There's just something about them that those wings do feel more brittle and prone to breaking and whatnot. Legs down here, you really do get nice kick forward rotation, kick backwards. He can't really bend his leg out to the side because of the way the sculpt is. And then the knees are kind of funny because you can have this bottom piece here go out and up and over that knee segment to get more of like a straight leg, or I'll see if I can do it here. You see how I tucked it underneath that beak right there? And then you can tuck it that way to where then his knees stay more like in a crouched or hunched bent position. So it really just depends, again, how you want him to stand. I like his legs to be a little more straightened out, and he's a little more, standing upright and presenced that way. That's the way I like to pose this guy. But then, of course, you can get those rotations also at the knees. Ankles, very nice rotations, pivots, just movement all the way around. Really good ankles on this guy. His feet, he does have a toe bend, and it is they are both on a hinge, so you can get them to sprawl out, kind of flat-ish that way, and then you can just bring them in like he's trying to grab or claw onto something. So really good feet. Tail, classic SH Monsterarts tail, just as good as Godzilla's, just as good as anything else. You got all these different segments. It moves beautifully. Very, very good tail on this guy. Now, with the feet, just mentioning this, I will say, moving on into like accessories and stuff now that we're done with articulation, I will say the hands, I kind of wish that they did a similar system, because I feel like they could have did some sort of joint here, or at least maybe with the thumb or something, because he does come with an extra pair of hands, and of course I have one of each hand on him right now. He has these hands, which he comes with attached already, which are more of like a closed clenching type, and then he has these hands that he comes with open. Now, again, this is where I'm going to critique a little bit. I feel like we could have avoided an extra set of hands by just using some sort of a similar type hinge or something here. You know what I mean? Like, you could have, instead of giving us another extra pair of hands, you could have just made the hands to where they could have opened and closed. I feel like that would have been doable, especially with the size that these hands are. I feel like that wouldn't be too hard to come up with a joint system that is, you know, similar in a way. So, but he does come with a couple pair of, you know, more open type hands. But see, that is where I do agree with a lot of other reviewers on this, is, you know, Red Eyes, it's nice to have his attacks, you know, but instead of giving us, you know, those hands and then just giving us a joint to where the hands we could open, close, however far apart or whatever we want, then they could have actually given us an accessory for like when he gets equipped with the magic card. You know, it was some sort of magic card that gave him metal claws. I forget, Metal Morph? But Metal Morph was everything. I feel like there was a card that they used in the show that when equipped to Red Eyes, it would give him these awesome metal type claws. That would have been a good alternate hand if they would have just given us these hands with hinges. You know what I mean? So it's like you give the consumer a little more bang for the buck that way, you know, and you cut back on just making an extra set of plain hands that are just more open. But it is cool that he comes with his effect piece for the Inferno Fire Blast. And this effect piece is beautifully well colored. It's a translucent plastic with blacks mixed with, you know, reds, you know, very dark and, you know, crazy energy colored. And I have actually gotten this to hold in his mouth, depending on how he's positioned and balanced. You could actually use this without the assistance of a stand, which he also does come with. He does come with a very big, of course now I just tipped him back there. Let's see, let's set him back up here to where he's kind of leaning. There we go. He does come with a very big, but just clear plastic base, nothing fancy. Would have been cool if maybe it was some type of a platform or color or something. But then he also comes with these stand arms, which attach and slide to hold the wings. And then, of course, he comes with this arm, which plugs into the effect part. And then he also comes with a cradle arm. So you combine basically all of Voltron of stands here together. And that'll help, you know, get him into certain poses, you know, help pose this a little better depending on the stance and everything. But then that is also where I do say, you know, this guy is retail about the same price as your average Godzilla SH Monsterarts. He's around that 130, you know, sometimes depending on where you get him. I think I've seen him even go for $140-ish range, but still a pretty similar range, right? And this is still an SH Monsterarts. Okay. Great paint. Great articulation, great detail, fantastic 10 out of 10 figure here, minus, you know, I would have did a little idea with the hands and given us like a metal hand swap out part, because he gave us the Infernal Fire Blast effect part, which is nice, and it came with a stand. Same price as your Godzilla. Do you guys see where I'm getting with this? And then Godzillas and other, you know, kaiju are the same price and come with just them, nothing extra, no stand. Tamashi, you're showing me right now you can do this. Exactly what I said in my SH Monsterarts Godzilla Evolved review, and a lot of my other recent talks about Tamashii Nations and their products. You can do it for the same price point. I mean, look at this stand. You don't even have to have this complex of a stand with the Godzilla figures. You just need a basic stand and one of these arms to plug into the beam effect. That's it. You don't need these. You don't need this. You don't need this big round mini frisbee. So there, you're saving some money. So don't tell me that, you know, we can't get effect parts with Godzilla for the prices that they're giving us. And then they give us something like this, which is, again, a 10 out of 10 figure from them, minus a little critiques. But, again, stand, effect piece, give me a break. Come on, Tamashii Nations. Again, I praise you where credit's due. This is an amazing figure. Just like the Tekken figures, Kazuya and Jin. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Amazing. But where's the quality consistency among all the different lines and IPs? That's what I'm trying to get at. And, again, price-wise, this guy is the same price as basically one of Godzilla figures. But we get everything else. It doesn't make sense. And this guy's actually a touch bigger than, you know, an SH Monsterarts Godzilla. That's what we're going to get into final here. Let's move this out of the way. I'll get him pretty much standing straight up as high as he can go. That's actually pretty good. Let's see. Get him as high as he can go with being balanced. And then let's bring in your standard SH Monsterarts Godzilla. This is what you're looking at as far as scale-wise. So he is kind of bigger in a way than your normal SH Monsterarts. Of course, he's going to stand taller, especially if you have his neck, you know, more extended outwards. But, so, again, but kind of similar in size in a way, because the wings, you can't really knock that towards a Godzilla figure because Godzilla doesn't have wings. So if you really took away the wings from Red Eyes and you just had the body, you're looking at just a figure that's maybe just a touch bigger than your average Godzilla from SH Monsterarts. Again, same price, same everything, but they'll give us a stand, they'll give us an effect part, plus the extra pair of hands. That don't make no sense. And better consistency and quality control from an SH Monsterarts figure versus another SH Monsterarts figure. Again, oh man, Tamashii, you make my head hurt. Anyway, you guys, there's your scaling. We are Godzilla fan freaks. I hope you enjoyed my review today on the SH Monsterarts Red Eyes Black Dragon from Bandai Namco Tamashii Nations. We are Godzilla fan freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Atomic blast that notification bell. Atomic blast that like button. Don't forget to like and follow Godzilla fan freaks over on Facebook and on Instagram. Without further ado, we are Godzilla fan freaks, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.